Hey guys, welcome back. So in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down Zedge, ticker symbol ZDGE. Now Zedge is a content distribution platform that enables its customers to be able to personalize their mobile devices through different things such as wallpapers, ringtones, and the list really goes on. Now the exciting thing about Zedge is that they're the #1 free personalization app, and they have over 350 million app installs. Now, majority of their business comes from Android devices. However, just recently, they broke into Apple devices by going on the iOS store. Now, as we can see on the Google Play Store, Zedge is very popular as it has over 8.5 million reviews, with around 4.5 being the average. Not only that, but their financials are looking really good as their revenue growth is around 100% and they've already seen adjusted EBITDA profitability. Now, I want to give a quick shout out to one of you guys. Shout out to Hano K for giving me this recommendation, as I really enjoy hearing about what stocks you guys are looking into, as well as it really helps me look into other exciting stocks. So with that out of the way, I'm going to dive into what Zedge is all about, break down their financials and their most recent quarterly results, and talk about whether or not I think it's a good investment or not. So let's first dive into a company overview of Zedge. Now Zedge is a leading app for mobile phone personalization. They spun off from IDT Corp in 2016, which was a part of Jonas Family portfolio. They have a large Android user base, and they're expanding into mobile entertainment. Now, Zedge has 465 million organic installs, with 32 million monthly active users, and they're named the top 100 app in Google Play Store. Now, as for their investment highlights, they have a large customer base with attractive demographics, multiple growth opportunities in flagship and optionality, disciplined financial management, and management execution. Now, their full year of 2021 targets is revenue growth of around 20+%, with continued positive cash flow and profitability on a quarterly and full year basis. Now, Zedge's platform enables both customers and creators. They have the Zedge wallpaper and ringtones app, which they bring in customers from ASO, press, and SEO, offering products like wallpapers, ringtones, icons, widgets, and more. However, on the publishing side, they have a platform that allows artists, brands, and social creators to not only offer their products on this app, but to also have an operating system where they're able to manage everything from analytics, the marketplace, APIs, monetization, and more. Now, Zedge is also trying to unlock new opportunities by creating things in their wallpapers and ringtones app, such as paid subscriptions with Zedge Plus, social and community features, and personalized feeds. They also recently released something called Shorts, also known as Shorts Casts, which is a podcast of stories. And this monetization is to include ad-supported and tokens. Now, Zedge is trying to expand its product line by offering something called Zedge Premium, which is a marketplace for artists. It's a hub for personalization, social, and fandom art, which is ideal for both established and up-and-coming artists. They're trying to make it an easy-to-use self-service platform utilizing a token-based economy. And we can see that they offer everything from video wallpapers to dedicated storefronts and ringtones and notification sounds. So as we touched on earlier, they're working on a product called Shorts, which is extending into entertainment. Now, Shorts is a short-form, serialized chat fiction, which is a very interesting concept in of itself. Now, these shorts are intriguing, suspenseful pieces of chat fiction told as a series of text messages between characters. Now, genres include anything from scare horror stories to sexy romance stories, and it's really just a play on this new form of chat storytelling. Now, as for the financials, they've seen really impressive progress in the past year. Now, they've seen around 73% year-on-year average revenue per monthly active user, 214% year-on-year subscription revenue. They have around $6.3 million cash and cash equivalents on their balance sheet, and around $5.6 million in net operating loss. Now, in late 2019 to mid-2020, they were seeing negative net income and EPS. However, in the last 2 quarters of 2020, they saw a drastic increase in positive net income and EPS, which translated to positive EBITDA as well. So it's a big milestone that they have reached this net income and EBITDA profitability, and as they begin to scale, they should start seeing this increase more as well. Now, just this Monday, March 15th, 2020, they announced record results in their second fiscal quarter. The company reported revenue of $5.3 million and net income of $2.3 million, with EPS being at 17 cents. They also raised their full year fiscal 2020 revenue guidance to growth of around 75% to 80%. Now, as for the fiscal second quarter highlights, the revenue increased 101% to a record 5.3 million versus 2.6 million last year. Their active subscriptions and subscription revenue increased 138% and 151% respectively versus last year. Now, they also had record operating income and operating margin, as well as record net income and diluted earnings per share. Their cash flow from operations increased 300% to a record 2.3 million versus 0.6 million last year, and their EBITDA was around 3 million versus 0.5 million last year. So it's clear to see that their financials are hitting on all cylinders. They're seeing record operating income, margin, net income, cash flow, and EBITDA. So Zedge has definitely seen a big boost to their overall business, which is translated to healthy financials. Now, digging into their income statement, we can see that their total revenue is comprised of advertising and subscription revenue. Now, advertising revenue takes up the bulk of it at around 4.4 million, with subscription revenue being only about 0.8 million. But they're both growing very fast at around 100%. Now, their operating income also went up drastically as their operating margin went from about 3% to 47%. And this is translated to a big increase in their net income and their EBITDA and cash flow from operations. Now, looking at some of their business metrics, we can see that their total installs went up around 14% year over year, with monthly active users only going up around 3%. Despite this, their average revenue per monthly active user went up around 87%, and their active subscriptions went up in total at around 140%, which I think is a really key metric for them as now they have a group of subscribers that they can tap into and continuously try upselling and cross-selling. And taking a quick look at their balance sheet, as of January 31st, 2021, they have around $13.6 million in cash and cash equivalents, with their total assets sitting around 22 million. Comparing that to the total current liabilities of around 3.6 million and total liabilities of 3.8 million, it's clear that they have well enough cash on their books to cover their liabilities, and they have a lot of cash to be able to further fund their growth plans. Now, because Zedge is still a very small company and it's categorized as a microcap, I thought it was really important for us to look at the risk factors as well. Now, one of the first risk factors that stand out to me is that Zedge doesn't have a really strong competitive advantage, or they don't have a really strong moat. What I mean by that is there's a lot of different alternatives on the market that people can use as a replacement instead of having to pay for Zedge and their wallpapers or any of their other products. Now, one thing that comforts me about this, though, is that they have still seen really strong demand in both their subscription count and their overall revenue. So despite this, Zedge is still seeing very strong demand and still seeing very good progress in their overall business. Now, another factor that I'm taking into account is their revenue growth and potentially their revenue not meeting further expectations. Now, because Zedge is a high growth tech company, there's a lot of weight on their revenue growth and their future performance. If they aren't able to meet these expectations, for example, if they don't hit around 80% revenue growth for the whole year of 2021, this stock is definitely going to see a lot of selling pressure as investors won't be as excited to get into this company. Some other questions that I have is how big of a total addressable market is there, and how big of an opportunity is there for Zedge? Are there really that many people wanting to pay for this personalized content for their mobile phones? And if so, how many people really do want a product like this? They talked about building out one of their new products called Shorts, which are chat stories. And although there has been some adoption within the past year, I'm not entirely sure how well it'll do over the long term, and if this is going to be just a fad or if it's going to be more of a winning product for them on the long term. So now that we talked about what Zedge does and we went over the financials, I want to give some of my thoughts on Zedge. Now, Zedge is a high growth business, seeing around 80 to 100% revenue growth. They have high cash on their books, and they have a lot of insider buying. Now, their main driver was subscription growth and optimization of their ad waterfall and an increase in their advertising rates. Now, their paid subscriber growth was 214% year over year and 21% sequentially. And what this all means is because of the nature of having subscribers, it allows for more predictability and higher margins for their business. Now, it's great to see that they already have 35 million monthly active users, which means that they already have a strong customer base. Now, what they can do is extend beyond phone personalization by tapping into new genres and new content types. Their big opportunity ahead of them is how to unlock greater value from their users. They're trying to tap into being more of a social network, and social networks receive a much higher multiple based on their market cap per user. Now, if you look at other companies such as Snapchat or Instagram, they have much higher multiples per user. Now, Zedge is also primarily focused on the Android market. And another company to me that seems similar is Digital Turbine, as they primarily focus on the Android market. Now, they're both leaders in the space by being the number one in their niche. And by taking a look at Digital Turbine, we can see that not only have they done really well, but taking a look back at around July of last year, 2020, their price of sales was around 8, with a market cap of only around $1 billion. Because Digital Turbine was able to capitalize on this opportunity during this time and has seen very impressive growth rates in both their revenue and on their bottom line, they've seen a huge price appreciation in the last year. Digital Turbine is now trading at a price of sales around 32, with a market cap of a little less than 8. Now, taking a look at Zedge and their valuation, we can see in the same time of around July last year, they're trading with a price of sales of a little less than 2. Now, since then, they've done really well and they've seen very good, solid financials. And of course, that's translated to their stock appreciating as well. They're currently sitting at a $125 million market cap with a price of sales at 10. I believe this opportunity is very similar to Digital Turbine when it was sitting around a price of sales of around 8. And as long as Zedge is able to continue to grow on the top line and bottom line and see healthy growth rates of plus 80% for the next year, I can definitely see Zedge growing into a higher multiple, which in turn makes their stock price appreciate as well. With Zedge being such a small company, but already having adjusted EBITDA profitability in the last few quarters, I can definitely see the stock getting a lot more attention as investors start to realize that their financials are very strong and they have a big market opportunity ahead of them as they are the number one player in this personalized mobile market. So guys, that was my breakdown of Zedge. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this company as well as what you plan on doing with the stock. With that guys, thanks as always for sticking around. I'll see you in the next episode and let's go get that bag.